Anyways, let's go. Como é que é, pessoal? Sejam bem-vindos aqui a mais um episódio do Shanecast. Estou de volta com mais um. Today estou aqui com uma long time friend. Que nem sabia que é minha long time friend, but like I've known you for ages now. I think desde Malta 2000
I think we've always been attached
no nível.
somehow.
Yeah, there's times no nível. For real.
Really?
Yeah. Jennifer, she's my cousin.
Oh.
Eu também estudei lá na
So
altura.
you knew me and I didn't know you.
Yeah,
Because I
yeah.
only met you African
Nah,
and
yeah,
stuff.
we've known each other.
Mm.
What's happening with your mic? You got this? Oh, okay. Something's okay, cool, whatever. I'll just aumentar o volume aqui. Mas yeah, like I've known you
Como
for
é que sabes
ages.
que o meu mic não está?
Yeah, já está.
Ah, okay.
Mas yeah, I've known you for the longest time, and you've always been doing stuff. You've been up to stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always running around for some reason. I think it's the ambition.
The ambition.
Definitely.
Is it?
I think so, yeah. I've always been people doing something, trying something that people... I feel like I've always been a very like expressive person. And I've always had that energy of wanting to do something, does of it. Então, yeah, eu acho que é muito disso, de querer experimentar. Because like I used to dance and I used to do football and then swimming and then arts at a certain point of it. Então, I've always had that. I don't know what I am.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is that I can do because I'm so good at almost everything. So let's go to art school, and then I did paintings and everything and exposições, and let's go try dancing, and then because we used to do dancing in Unilia, so we had shows every year at the end of the year. So it was like, okay, let's go to dance school because I know how to dance, so ballet and everything like that, and then I can swim, so let's invest in swimming. And then football. Wow, you should get football. Let's take you to Waterford and say KK. So I've always been somewhere somehow because I never knew what is it that I want.
Yeah.
So let's just explore everything. And I feel like I'm still doing that to this day.
Yeah. Now, I think we're sort of similar but a bit different. With my case, it was some episode that I've also done a lot of random things in life growing up till this day. But it's mainly because I get bored. Eu fico tipo, bro, like...
I want to do something else.
Yeah, like sempre uma cena, tipo, I'm always trying to do, like, not the next big thing, but I just get bored and I'm like, nah, man, let's just, fazer uma cena diferente acontecer. And that's how I end up in all these random spaces and all that stuff. But like, what's your first memory of a hobby besides school? These days, school for some school is a hobby. What's your first memory of a hobby that you took and like you know necessarily the ambition that you're talking about? Like what was the first memory that you have of those things?
Eu acho que é swimming.
Swimming
has to be, yeah, because initially I went para natação para aprender a nadar. Aquela cena every parent, tipo, meu filho tem que saber nadar. That's how I went to comecei a nadar. And then eventually it turned into, who's this kid? She's so good. People, we need her in our team. And I was like 6. I couldn't even compete at that time. And meu coach, people, he passed now. Mas ele viu-me and he was like, quem é essa menina? Por que ela nada tão bem? Por que ela não está conosco? So it was, tipo, não foi uma cena que eu sozinha queria. Ficava tipo, eu gosto, quero tentar nadar competitively, estás a ver? Foi uma cena de tipo, you need to come here. Então, eventually, it became something. I was still 6 and I couldn't compete porque só começas a competir. Agora não sei, mas na altura só podias competir aos 9. So for me, it was like, okay, sair da escola, almoçar, não sei o que, treinos às 16, ir para lá and people, they were big guys and people that already won medals and stuff. So for me, it was just people, okay, they like me, so I'm here. And I didn't have anything else to do.
Na inocência de ser criança também.
Exactly.
Like,
it was like, me chamaram, olá, tudo bem, okay. And so I used to go there every day. Tipo, minha babá me levar, não sei o que. So I feel like because I wasn't in that mentality of this is a real sport, this is what I'm doing now. For me, it was just, okay, vamos lá treinar então. Just, it's fun, it's nice. until it got to a point where it was like, you can't stop anymore. Like, you're good. That's a bit.
Is it?
Yeah.
Like, have you ever felt like quitting before?
All the time.
Por que todos os atletas são assim, bro? I don't get why all athletes are like that.
Because it's hard. And this is one thing that people don't understand. I feel like being an athlete is one of the hardest jobs you can have because it's discipline, is your time. E, tipo, especially when you're growing up. Quando tu tens 30, 40, sei lá, essas idades grandes, né, where you're peaking, it's easier porque já tens mulher, já tens filhos, you don't really have to be around friends anymore. Mas if you're 6, 8, 9, 10, and someone's telling you you can't eat that pizza,
wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If someone's telling you can't go to that friend's party because you have to be at the pool at this time, or you're competing every weekend, no say, you're just kind of trying to understand why is this changing my life, right? And then it comes to when it's around time per puberty, no sé qué, you're like 15, 16, que festa. You can't do that.
Yeah.
I remember last year, 2019, 2020, I was on a roll of training. I was just swimming like professionally because the Olympics were coming up. And I was swimming every single day in the water. It was like uns treinos por semana. And then I'd come to Mars for like some weekends, no sé qué. I couldn't go out with my friends because I needed to be in the water, or because I knew if I went out, I'd drink and I'd pick up weight.
Yeah.
So I couldn't even pick up a gram at that point. And I was going out at 8, by 20, I need to be home because I need to be in the water at 6 the next day. Estás a ver? Então é uma disciplina que muita gente fica tipo, do I really want to do this? Like waking up when I was in the UK, for instance, I had to be up by 4:20 a.m., leave the house at 5:30, be in the pool. Sometimes you're just thinking, do I want to do this? Is this the life I want to take? Because then it's time you're not sleeping, it's time you're not with your friends, it's things you can't eat. É muita disciplina que tu tens. Se tu não fizeres, ninguém vai fazer.
Yeah.
There's no one there to wake you up at 4:20. There's no one to say, não come isso aí, não sei que. When you're out with your friends, everyone's drinking, and you're thinking, I can't drink because tomorrow morning I have to be in the pool or in the court or whatever it is. And so I feel like quitting is one thing that's constantly in the back of your mind because you're like, is this worth it?
Yeah.
Is this what I want to do? Especially when you swim or you play for so long and then you go to that meet and your results are shit.
Yeah.
Then you're like, what the fuck? People, I swear.
I usually don't stop people because cada se expressa da sua maneira, you know? So.
No, but it's kind of like you swim for 5 months and you're like, okay, nationals, and you're swimming, and then nationals come and you don't go PB.
Yeah.
You're like, where did I go wrong? In 5 months, how can you literally track every single training, every single thing that you ate? You maybe think that one time that I went to a party, I ate a burger.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's demotivating, and it's you sitting down and thinking, well, what am I going to do now? If 5 months didn't do anything, a month ahead, também não vai mudar nada, estás a ver? Então é uma cena que fica na tua cabeça.
Can I ask you something? Like, what do you usually do to, let's say you go to a meet and like you don't get the results that you wanted to get? Quais são as cenas que normalmente, ou tem um caso específico de uma vez que tu não conseguiste algo que queria e conseguiste track back to what are the things that you were inefficient in that caused you to not be able to get the results that you wanted? Like, are you able to, track those inefficiencies? Have you been able to track them? Yeah, I think that's the best way to put it. Have you been able to track them?
No. I want to be honest and say no.
No.
Nada. Because it's always something. For me, for instance, it always fell on eu não tô treinando suficiente. It was never tipo, for instance, last year, 2019, every single time I didn't manage to do something, I felt it was because of my weight, because I was struggling with like weight, no sé qué, because I had to get to a certo ponto that I was told I have to be there to swim well. So
Yeah.
every time I didn't swim well, it was because, okay, I'm still fat. David. This was last year around that time. But before that, I think it was just me admitting to myself, tipo, tu não estás a treinar suficiente. Because in the water is, you can be in the water, but still not be in the water.
Yes.
Estás a ver? Even at the gym,
Yes.
I can go to the gym, but not be gymming.
Yeah.
And then the results don't come. So I feel like I had to always accept that, tipo, foste 10 vezes eu treino, next time go 11.
Yeah.
Estás a ver? You did it 28, next time try to do it 27. Tá a ver? It's always that little push that I don't push myself to that limit. Então mesmo isso, talvez isto aqui foi o que errou. But I was never able to say this exactly. That's where I went wrong.
Yeah. I'm asking this because, like, obviamente, I don't have years in it like you have in swimming.
Yeah.
Mas in CrossFit, por exemplo, it's very easy for me to track back on like all the points where I'm being inefficient, because like it's all about movements, and you can be like, okay, in this section of like movements.
Oh, do you mean on a race? As
A
in
race, yeah, in
specific
general, like in
events?
general, you know, like how do you like deal with those things? Because I think now as you're getting more deeper into it,
Yeah.
you'll be able to like share your side. But like, for example, I'm very bad with shoulder mobility. So movements that include a lot of shoulder mobility, I'm not good with those.
Yeah.
And those tend to be my setbacks, right? So I always know that prior and post competition, I really need to like improve on that. And you know, that's just how it is. So like how is it there in the swimming world for you? when
Okay, specifically on
Yeah.
races, I think it's a bit easier because you know what you did wrong.
Yeah.
There's people reaction time, for
Yeah.
instance, you can tell when you were slow.
Yeah.
And then from swimming, from diving into the pool, then the kicks,
Yeah.
and then coming out, and then maybe you took one breath more than you should have.
Yeah.
So with specific race, it's easy for you to say, oh, okay, in this race I went wrong because era suposto eu fazer 18 braçadas e eu fiz 19. Ou era suposto eu fazer 18 kicks and I only did 17 or 16, estás a ver? And then with races specifically, it's
Yeah.
something easy. Sometimes you can go, well, I don't know.
Yeah.
I try my best. estás a
Yeah.
ver? Mas outras vezes you can actually tell I was too... And consuming é uma cena... Eu acho que qualquer desporto, não sei. Mas consuming é nice porque a pessoa que está a ver can understand where you went wrong. So it's easy for your
Yeah.
coach to come and tell you the reaction time was
So
shit.
do you usually then after competition have like those meetings?
Yeah.
Com os teus
After
coaches
every
and-
race, your coach can, if you're
Like-
important, let's
Yeah.
say that, if you're like a big thing, your
Mm.
coach is going to come to you and tell you your reaction time was shit. Like
and then
you were
you
the last
have to like
person.
get back to the pool after the competition, like work on
Yeah.
those specific aspects.
Yeah. Or
And I
on
feel-
or on the next race,
Yeah.
depending
And
on
I feel
how
like
that
that's
thing's
the
gonna go.
sucky part about being an athlete, which is correcting, you know, because you can be good at swimming, right? You're good
Yeah.
at swimming.
Yeah.
But then when they tell you, hey Joe, the reaction time isn't working, you have to like or
Focus on that.
just repeat one movement, because that's that thing that will make you become better by 0.0001%
Yeah.
in comparison to your competition. That's the one thing that will set you apart.
Yeah.
And that's really hard. And it's really hard.
É uma dedicação. This is what I'm saying. É uma dedicação because sometimes you sit down and you think, do I want to do this?
Yeah.
You think, is it worth it? Do I want to spend 30 minutes after practice
Just doing
going,
one
yeah,
thing.
that one repetition where you're getting it wrong. Now that you got it right, go do it again.
Yeah.
Because you know you
Yeah,
can now.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? People's like, afinal consegues fazer, okay, let's go do it 5 more times. Tá a ver? So it's where that thing in your brain just goes, Denise, do you want to do this? Is this really worth it? As of it? And that's where it's like, I really want to quit.
Yeah.
And I feel like athletes are very emotional people. I've cried so many times in the water, whether it's the race, whether it's travessia, whether it's at training.
Será que notas quando
I think eu acho que
uma vez eu fiz uma pergunta mais stupid? Can you sweat in the water?
no, but you can. You can, because teu corpo fica numa temperatura acima
Mano.
daquela cena. E tipo, a cena que as pessoas pensam, I think, is that porque estás na água, then you cool. It's not that. You are training hard,
As long as your body's heating up, it's gonna
tipo,
release
tu nunca vais
water. It's gonna release heat.
só não vais ver
through
que estás a
sweat,
mas sentes, pelo menos na água consegues sentir.
So you've cried in the water?
I've cried so many times. It's so hard when you kind of like, eu já não consigo. And then the thing about coaches is they understand the pain, but they don't feel it. Estás a ver? Tipo, your coach is always gonna push you all the time.
They have to be managers.
Yeah.
They're managing your feelings, they're managing their feelings. So they have to act like exactly how you said.
Yeah.
They have to act like they understand, but they
Yeah.
don't feel it. Because the moment they start feeling it too, then
they go
it's just like a shit show and everyone is like on their feelings and we start crying together and don't focus on the next race. Next race, you know?
It makes sense. So yeah, I've cried. And I have a coach where he used to talk about this girl that he used to coach, like she was an Olympian. Eventually she became an Olympian. And she used to do sets crying, like really bawling her eyes out, but then she'd do them every single time. Like she'd get to the wall, clear her goggles, limpa as lágrimas, put them back, go again. And that's the determination that you want to see, that a coach wants to see. But then do you have it in you?
Do you have it in you?
I feel like I do. For the things that I've endured, I feel like I do. But then it's hard. I'm going to tell you that I have failed myself plenty of times because I always felt like I'm so tired. I can't do this. Depois eventually your time start lowering, não sei o que. Porque swimming são tempos. Tipo, tens que sair a 4:20 e não chegas às 4:15. Go, you pumped. Okay, 5 seconds rest, go again. 4:15. And then your coach is like, you keep that up for the next 100 times that we're doing this. And you're like, okay, chega a 10ª vez. You're thinking there's still 90 to go. Já estás nos 4:17. And then 4:19. And then chega 4:20. You're not resting anymore. So by the time you're not resting, tu estás a chegar, já tens que sair. You're like, fuck, eu já perdi essa cena. Então até tu conseguires recuperar. It's hard. You're just like, okay, I've lost it. Estás a ver? Então, you need to have it, mas também eu acho que às vezes it's normal, like you're gonna fuck it up. Tipo, faz mesmo.
You were at the HPC 2019, right?
No, I wasn't no HPC. I was in Pretoria, but with like a different coach.
But like,
Natação.
I thought because I know like there's a lot of people that have been there like from us and stuff like that.
Tux is it.
Yeah.
Tux is the place to go.
Yeah.
But I wasn't there because the coach that I was with has issues with the guys there.
They
had drama. So he started his own thing.
But regardless, I just want you to walk me through what is it like to train as like an athlete, an elite athlete, because I feel like that's the kind of training that because like we've had conversations about this before, and you told me that you guys were like working for real, like now my son at the we're training, like you guys were working for real. So like, what is that like? Or like, tipo, tu like as a young athlete coming from Mars, com todas as nossas dificuldades que temos aqui, all of a sudden you go into a place where things actually work.
Eu quero dizer que that was both the best and the worst time that I've had in my swimming career. Because the best, porque tipo, é uma das melhores coisas when you're like, I'm doing this for real. And I'm doing this with a purpose. Porque at that time, it was me. It was, I'm gonna go. And then, tipo, estava a vir de uma injustiça that happened. Tipo, I was supposed to go to Worlds. They took someone else when I was the one at the top. Não sei o que. So I was kind of like, they are gonna see this. They are gonna understand why it has to be me. So my uni supported me. My parents supported me. So it was like, I'm in athlete mode right now. But then it was the worst because of the pressure that I didn't know, that I didn't have before. Porque aqui em Moz, tipo, eu nunca fui, eu não vou dizer que eu já fui a melhor, não sei o que, eu sempre fui uma das, you know? Mas eu sempre fui muito baby. Like, aqui em Moça, as pessoas são tipo, Denise é a queridinha, tipo, they know me.
Yeah.
Because eu era aquela que has potential, tipo, at a certain point, I was a melhor que tem a melhor técnica em Moçambique, não sei o quê. Então aqui eu sempre fui, people always baby me, tipo, esta aqui é Denise, we know what she's capable of, let's nurture her. And there it was, okay.
Not the love.
Yeah.
A plan é terrível.
Ok, tipo, e é um coach que já foi para os Olímpicos, já levou atletas aos Olímpicos, eu treinava com atletas que já foram Olímpicos, so it's like, you're lost. So, hi, pick it up, estás a ver? And I had problems with my weight, which never bothered me. I never understood how my weight could have been, well, at that time, para mim não era uma cena, não era problema. My coach looked at me and was like, you're overweight. And I was like, okay, what do we have to do? You have to lose that. And one thing that he put in my head is, if you want to qualify, you need to be at least 15 kgs lighter.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was weighing every single day. And I knew if I put one peanut in my mouth, he was going to know. So it was hard. It was going in every day. It was having problems with my shoulder and him coming to me and saying, that's because you're fat. Yeah, it was me having an injury in my knee and saying, that's because you're fat. And it was kind of like I didn't have anywhere to go because it was morning, piscina. À tarde, piscina. Next day, morning, gym. À tarde, piscina. Tipo, where am I gonna go to breathe?
Yeah.
Tá a ver? Tipo, eu posso ir para a escola e falar de uma outra cena. Posso sair on the weekend to go see other friends, não sei o que.
Oh, mas isso não nos contactava. Veio para o nosso território, PTA, bro, straight up, but never.
Yeah.
But that's besides the point. That's
A
besides the
cena
point
que eu
here.
vivia em casa do meu coach. For a long time, I was living with him. For a long time, it was them cooking for me. It was me coming back from a heavy session of like 6 kilometers e encontrar uma salada. Tipo, I was so grateful for that opportunity because I knew that I was swimming with someone that believed in me. Estás a ver? Porque prior to that Olympic setting thing, I was in Russia for a training camp with the guy. And my times were so great. And by the time I was in Russia, you already told me, tipo, você tá bocadinho gordinha, perde lá essa cena. So, July, I was with him, 2019, came home, and then ended up going to Pretoria end of the year. So it was someone that I was like, wow, I'm really working with a guy that sees potential in me and is like, Joe, you can go to the Olympics, you can actually qualify and you can become the best Mozambican swimmer anyone has ever seen. But at the same time, he was telling me, I am not your friend. I am not going to pat you on the back and tell you it's okay, because it's not. And you should tell me, I can't do the work for you. I can only tell you what you have to do. And from then on, you have to do it on your own. And that was hard. That was the worst time because I never understood what it was actually, what I had to do. Tipo, I was like, eu estou a nadar todos os dias, Joe. Eu estou aqui há horas, eu não como nada, não sei o quê. But even then, meus tempos não estavam nice, ou meu peso não baixava. Tipo, eu não conseguia baixar peso for shit.
Do you looking in hindsight, do you think weight was really the problem, or do you feel like maybe he just decided to pick on that specific aspect? That was
what a lot of people told me.
Because it's sounding like he just decided to pick on the weight problem to use that as a scapegoat for anything that you would
work.
like underperform in, you know, like anything that should be like.
That's a nice point like, you're making, because that's something that even my dad told me.
Because it's sounding like persecution, basicamente. Tipo, ele estava a te perseguir, mas a usar, tipo, a cena do peso por tabela, you know? Para não ir direto, Denise, isto aqui, usava weight, then it would affect you. I don't say it.
But then, no, it makes sense what you're saying, because I've heard that from a lot of people. Because, people, when I used to come to malls, people, the time I came once to compete here, meus tempos estavam a melhorar. Tipo, I could see myself doing good. And I was like, wow, this is actually working. Like, I believed in him and it was working. And I still hadn't lost much, like not even half of what he wanted me to lose. But then I felt like what he put in my head was, you're doing good, but you can do better. How do you do better? Listen to me, lose that weight, lose that extra fat. And then I believe in that because I'd see the swimmers that swam with me, they were skinny, like weighing 60 kilos, assim, 70 no máximo. Tipo, the girl that swam with me, at least, she was like 60 something. And she's just as tall as me. She's skinny, estás a ver? Ela nada, maninho. Então ficava tipo, Joe, realmente eu acho que eu tô gordinha. Então aquilo stuck with me, and that was the hardest part of it. Like, that was, people, it was very
So
bad.
you have to deal with the I want to quit feeling all the time, and now you have to deal with this new demon that's been put by the
But
coach.
it was mentioned that maybe it was him who didn't see a solution, so he's picking on me and saying you're fat.
Yeah.
But that took a toll on my mental health. That was very hard because at a certain point I was taking pills. Tipo, eu entrava no malta clicks, discam, qualquer cena de weight loss, eu apanhava, eu começava a tomar. So at a certain point I was taking pills for like water retention because eu meti na minha cabeça que maybe it's water that I'm retaining.
Yeah.
So I was taking pills for water retention, and then I was taking those weight loss thingies that like you take in the morning, then you go swim. So I was taking those, and then I went to see one nutritionista that did like this whole body scan. It was like, are you have lack of no sé qué. So she gave me pills where I had to take 15 a day.
What?
Yeah. So 5 in the morning, 5 at lunch, 5 at night.
That was to lose weight.
Yeah. Supostamente to put everything back in place, and then eventually I'd lose weight, and then eating regrado, no sé qué. So I was taking around 20 pills and then not eating every single day. And then imagine 11 treinos por semana.
But don't you need those calories to, perform?
It gets to a point where you're like, I'm gonna do anything I have to do. Because também eu tinha aquele pressure de vocês não me levaram ao mundial when I was at my best.
You're trying to like prove a point.
Now you're gonna see who is the person you should have taken. Tá a ver? So eu tinha essa competição do Olympics with the federação e o meu treinador aqui em Moss, não sei o quê. Tem fighting myself, tem fighting my coach who thinks I'm very fat. E eu olhava pra mim, tipo, I look back today and I'm like, bro, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad, but I went through, and tipo, I was so grateful every single day, tipo, Joe, I am an athlete. Because meu pai sempre me lembrava, tipo, tu és uma atleta profissional. Quando eu vinha para Moçambique, eu queria sair, ele dizia, Joe, teus amigos são teus amigos. Tu amanhã às 5 tens de estar na água. Não inventa isso de vitrine, não sei o que, estás a ver? Tipo, he would get mad if I'd go past curfew, não sei o que. So it was that me really enjoying, feeling tipo, Michael Phelps aqui, tipo, bro, someone's coming and telling me this, não sei o que. But at the same time, I was like, I'm dying, guys. Tipo, something in me is not working anymore. I don't know. I'm not functioning. I'm taking pills every day. I don't eat because if I eat soma castanha and go to weigh in the morning and there's a 5 where there was supposed to be a 4, someone's going to get into shit. And that's me. And then it got to a point where I felt like he started giving up because he'd tell me things like, "Eu já não posso te ajudar. I don't know what to do anymore." Like my coach would tell me those things and I'm like, fuck. And nationals, then everyone started qualifying for nationals in South Africa. And I was the only one who hadn't. And I was like,
it's the weight.
This whole time I've been fighting, I've been trying, I've been to the nutricionista, já tomei tudo que tem no discam. Eu quando vou para Moz não bebo, não sei o que, não saio. What the fuck am I gonna do now? Tá a ver? So it was one of the best times for me to understand how life actually is for people and athletes and stuff. And I really enjoyed that, but it was the worst because I was like, who is this person? I don't recognize myself. People,
like when you look back at who you were.
Yeah, definitely. I was like, I swam because I liked it. And now I'm swimming because I need to prove a point. Because I want to show them that I'm good and that I'm capable of that. And there's people that believe in me, obviously, and I'm grateful for that. But those same people put so much pressure on me to a point where I'm like, do I really want to go through all of this? Do I want to listen to someone shame me every single day because I have extra weight that I have to lose?
That's a bit like as I said, it sounds like sounds like persecution. Bro.
Yeah, it was literally like being in jail and there's no way I can escape.
Yeah.
People, you're gonna take this because you did something wrong. Now you're incarcerated, David. It's like, you chose this. That's the thing about it and being an athlete. Tipo, tu não podes reclamar because you chose it.
Yeah.
Who told you to come to him? No one
Money.
told you this. No one's forcing you this.
Damn, like remember when I told you what's it called? To start a YouTube channel about the swimming stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, you need to tell us the story behind this whole experience. This is what I was talking about. Mas você não estava like, nah.
I just feel like people wouldn't listen to it. Tipo, eu não sei quantas pessoas é que se interessam por essa cena de desporto e querer saber que não é só entrar na água
the thing
e
is,
nadar.
if you notice, we didn't even talk about swimming styles here. We just spoke about life.
The experience of it.
We could have taken out the word swimming from it.
Yeah.
And anybody else can relate to this.
Oh,
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm saying this because
yeah.
what you've just mentioned now about taking pills and all that stuff.
You went
My
through that.
mom listens to my podcast, so I think she's gonna get mad.
Okay.
But I've been telling her that she should also share her story.
Oh, okay.
But with like slimming teas and stuff like that.
I also took that, bruv. There was this one time. This is a bit maybe graphic, but like I took that for so long. Tipo, tomava chá à noite, não sei quê. And that messed with my body, like menstrual cycle, não sei quê. It got to a point where I was like, obviously, I don't know if my dad's gonna watch this. I wasn't having sex, but like I thought I was pregnant. I was like, do you guys think I'm pregnant? Is there any chance of me being pregnant? Because I wouldn't like menstruar and stuff like that, não sei quê. But it was all of those things that I was taking. Estás a ver? Então imagina lá estar no meio dessa cena toda. And then, hey, bro, it was hard.
And the thing is, there's a lot of people that are struggling with those things. And for them, it's not necessarily a coach that's like putting that pressure on them.
Yeah.
It might be people at work. It might be your relatives. Tipo, vocês ficaram, gordinha and stuff like that, you know?
Yeah.
And you get into this cycle as well of putting pressure on yourself on some, hey bro, I feel like I'm just getting fat. I've gained all this weight.
Yeah.
This isn't right and all that stuff. And these are things that need to be spoken about, and the people that have been through it need to like be open about it.
Yeah.
Because
it's a nice thing to talk about.
Yeah.
It's a nice thing because I think there's a lot of people that look at you and they're like, "Tcho, tu és atleta nacional. Wow, that's so cool."
Pessoalmente era isso que eu estava a ver. Denise está na sala, está-se a preparar para os Jogos Olímpicos,
so
man.
amazing,
Tokyo, let's go, man.
Yeah, and you
Let's
see
go.
and obviously you only see like a portion of what people go through. And then I come to Mars and I'm winning and you're thinking, wow, that's amazing. But then I'm winning and I'm thinking, this is shit. People, I'm going to go back to SA and someone's going to give me so much crap for this time. Estás a ver? E para as pessoas, maybe it's just, hey, estás a ganhar, wow, that's amazing, estás a viajar, estás a não sei o quê, vais para os Olímpicos, ganhaste, não sei o quê, whatever. Mas they don't see aquele ali embaixo, how hard it is and how you're trying not to cry, even though you're on the podium, like, wow, this didn't go well at all, estás a ver? So it's a nice, I feel like that's an experience that I should have shared maybe some time ago and spoken about how pressure can actually just damage you more than it, because we have this notion of pressure makes diamonds. Pressure is the way to go. Like, let's pressure you, let's put you under pressure all the time, and that's how you're gonna. But then pressure also breaks things.
Yes.
If nós puxamos elástico, it's gonna be naquele tension, but at a certain point it's gonna break.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what people don't understand, that we have our limits, and there's a point where you need to sit down with me and tell me you're doing good.
Yeah.
People, I understand. I know where you want to get to. And I feel like that's what I needed the most at a certain point. It was someone telling me, look, it's fine.
Did you have someone at that time other than your dad? Because I feel like
my dad wasn't that supportive though. Because my dad would see me and tell me, you're very fat. Like, what's going on? Like, he was the one who told me to go para nutricionista, para no sé qué. He was calm though, because I feel like he understood that at a certain point I could break and I needed someone. So at times he'd tell me things, people, don't worry, just now foste a nutritionist, okay, relax. It's gonna happen. But at the same time, I knew he was also looking at time, and he told me things tipo, just não qualificaste até maio, esquece. Senão não sei o que, até não sei quanto, esquece. Estás a gastar tempo, não sei o que,
Então
estás a
tu
ver?
tinhas coach e manager. I think your dad was doing the manager.
Definitely. My
part
dad
of-
considers himself my sponsor.
Yeah,
So I need to make sure his money is going somewhere.
yeah.
Of it. And I feel like under all of that pressure, I just needed someone to look at me and say, you're doing good. Tipo, esse tempo que tu fizeste aqui, tu nunca tinhas feito antes. Estás a ver? Tipo, it's okay. Tipo, sometimes, and this is what I tell people. Tipo, I know I can do things. I've been doing things my whole life by myself. But sometimes you just need someone to hold your hand and tell you, bro, keep going.
Yeah,
Estás a ver? É uma cena que most of us can do things on our own. Tipo, you can record this podcast on your own, you can do não sei o quê, but sometimes you don't have that motivation sozinho.
Yeah.
And maybe a text from my friend, tipo, Joe, assisti teu Shanecast hoje, aquele episódio foi maninho nice, keep it up. And that's enough fuel for you to turn that engine again, tá ver? And that's something that sometimes I didn't have, or most of the times I didn't have. And people just saw me going a treinar todos os dias já, vir para Maputo ganhar, não sei o quê, e ficaram tipo, wow! I've never seen you swim like that.
Yeah.
But no one actually sat down and ficar tipo, Joel, are you okay?
Yeah.
How's training going?
I'm recalling now. I think you once tweeted something like, "Hey, bro, I wish I could have like more athlete friends,
Yeah.
so that I could share the things that I'm going through,
Yeah.
because only them would understand."
Would understand. But now that I speak to you and you telling me stuff like, I should have shared this a long time, I understand that mesmo uma pessoa que não é athlete would probably understand what I'm going through. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, maybe just someone, talvez pode não ser the weight or anything, whatever they're going through, maybe someone else is just needing a friend to say, Joe, keep going.
Yeah.
Or take a break. People, rest.
Yeah.
You're fine. Because my brain would, and then, I don't want to talk about like stuff because I don't know if my mom watches this. But like it got to a point where I needed drugs to calm down. Tá ver? Tipo, I started studying stuff. Tipo, quando pessoas me perguntavam.
Like cenas que podiam.
Quando pessoas me perguntavam, tipo, não, beleza, não sei o que, não sei o que. Eu ficava tipo, what strain is that? Because I can't just take any strain. Because eu já estudava, já sabia when, what, how can I take it? Because my brain was assim. Every single time I was always thinking, I have to do this. And depois chegava tipo sábado, because that was the only day we didn't have training à tarde, para domingo. I knew what to take to like relax. Tipo, Joe, bring it back. Estás a ver? Então, eventually I had to take matters into my own hands. And maybe if I had shared this whole thing before with someone, then maybe I wouldn't have gone through so much of that, because I'd have someone that understands. E fica tipo, it's okay, you're fine. And I just decided to live with this whole thing by myself. And yeah.
What I'm getting from this is being an elite athlete is hard as hell.
It's
you have to be ready for it.
Yeah.
And I don't know, you
because anyone at any point in my position could have said, eu não quero mais.
Money.
Esquece isso.
money.
You know? And
You kept on fighting.
Yeah, and the thing was, people would see me e ficar tipo, Joe, tu não estás gorda. You look nice. Estás a ver? E eu na minha cabeça estou like, não estou, bro. Não. There's no way. I need to be 10 kgs slimmer than what I am now. Estás a ver? E as pessoas, tipo, you end up not seeing yourself anymore. You stuck on that thing de, Joe, o que tu me disseste, esquece isso.
Yeah, porque tu já estás naquele cycle de, you know, when they say comparison is the thief of joy. So tu já estás naquele cycle de, teu joy já passou, you don't care. Now, you just need to look like what's the standard, which is the next athlete to you that's like the same height as you, but she's like 160 and you're trying to get to that level and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Damn.
It was hard. And this just goes back to your initial conversation. Have I ever felt like quitting? I have plenty of times. Estás a ver? Porque it's rough. It's hard. It's people telling you, if you don't do this, you won't make it. And what you have in your head, I want to make it. So if I want to make it, then I have to listen. And if listening takes half of my happiness away or takes half of my mental health away, then whatever it is, I'm going to do it. That's a bit. And this is where we get into that cycle of maybe depression and anxiety and everything because we're just thinking, I have to make it. Whatever it takes, I'm going to be in that pool in that morning. I used to get sick. And even then, I'd go into the pool and say, okay, the only good thing about uma das boas coisas do meu treinador é que once you're sick, you're not in the water. Just go relax and say, okay. But even then, you try to push every single day. Vitamin C, vitamin não sei o que, you try not to get sick. Because if you miss one practice, it's over.
Tem ripple effect.
It breaks that cycle and it's like you're starting all over again.
Yeah. What did I want to say? No, it's just that I almost said that it sort of moves me as a Shanish because we really take for granted the effort that certain people put. Certain people, vamos dizer, let's say you had qualified to the Olympics, right? After having gone through all of this and you didn't make it there. And then we'd just be like, também, pá, sabem como é que é Moçambique, whatever. But like,
you don't know how hard it is.
We can't even fathom, bro. We don't even know like 0.5% of how hard that is. And if we were to get into the bigger picture of being in that space, most of us wouldn't even be able to bear it like for half a second.
You wouldn't.
We would just run away from
that
it.
Thing of, and then it's a lot of when you do make it, I feel like people don't understand the expectation that sometimes we have of support.
Yeah.
And this is something that I relate to a lot with artists. When artists get upset at people not supporting them, non say KKK, especially here in Mars. It's because it's hard, dude. It's a lot. And then if I qualify, I really would enjoy a buzz around my name. I would enjoy if someone came and said, eu quero te patrocinar. Because you don't know how I made it there. And even if you did know, you wouldn't, I don't know. It's just listening to someone tell you, bro, it got to a point where I was so sick. I was missing practice every single time because I just couldn't get out of bed. And now I'm at the Olympics. Even though I went through all of that, não sei o que, tipo, é uma história de superação minha, estás a ver? Que maybe I did it for myself, tudo bem, but it's your flag up there as well. Come to me and tell me something nice, estás a ver? And it's not because eu quero atenção or something, it's just because you don't know what we do and what we put our bodies and our brains through to help you be on the map as well. Because não vão dizer só Denise. É Moçambique. Se eu ganhar, it's your anthem that's always going to be sung up there.
It's not like your favorite song.
Exactly. They don't tell me querem falamos o quê? Não é discurso sobre mim. It's Moçambique. Estás a ver? Então eu acho que esse recognition, essa parte que as pessoas também não te dão um pouco, às vezes fica tipo frustrating, tipo, what am I even doing this for? Estás a ver? Tipo, okay, it's for myself, but like, no one's gonna see this. I'm gonna go. It's gonna acabar. A few friends gonna share on social media, but then look at someone in South Africa, aqui perto. Even qualifying gets them at least 5 or 6 sponsors, at least minimum. Aqui they're gonna share your picture on Instagram. Yay, nice, that's good. And then you ask yourself, people, why? You know?
So the thing that you used to enjoy almost broke you apart.
Yeah.
And that's the craziest thing about being a sports person.
Exactly. Exactly like that. The thing that you love the most can tear you apart. Definitely. Like you just give yourself and then it just tells you you're not worthy. Move.
No.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Just like any other love story out there.
Basicamente.
You could write a romance and swimming would be like a character. You'd give it a name and then you just talk about the whole experience around it. And then at the end,
like he used to shame me.
The very last chapter of it
Plot
would be
twist.
like swimming. I mean, I don't know, Charles, whatever. Charles is swimming.
Yeah, Charles was a sport.
Fecharam o book assim
Yeah,
mesmo.
Charles was an individual sport.
A pessoa depois de ler aquela cena fica like, what the hell did I just...
Yeah. No, but it makes sense
Did I
because
just
you
read
could
here?
put a person in that position
Yeah.
of I felt so much pressure because I wanted to be loved,
Mm.
because I wanted to be the greatest, because I wanted to be the best, and that thing and that person kept telling me no, you're not there yet. You're not worthy of my love. Not now. Not until you're skinnier.
Yeah.
Not until you're doing PBs every single meet.
Yeah.
It makes sense that you end up loving something so much and you give everything of yourself to that, and it just tells you, look, you're not worthy of my love. Just let someone else come. David.
Damn. Wow, like, you know what I like the most about this thing?
Yeah.
This about having a podcast.
Yeah.
It's this part where because we know each other from social media. You know
Yeah.
me, I know you, and we know a lot of other people from social media. But do we really know what's going on?
Exactly. And this is what I say every time. You don't know until you sit in front of a chair and you talk to someone about it.
Yeah.
You don't, because I could be laughing and having fun. Because I used to go out with my friends when I was still training and going out and stuff. I just tell them I can't eat that, I can't drink that.
Yeah.
And they'd respect it. I thought, not okay. They don't know half of what was going on. You never know.
Wow.
Yeah.
So last year, you came back to Mars, because of the panoramic and all that. Have you been swimming? You haven't been swimming, but you've been busy with other stuff.
Yeah.
I
took some time. I think
You took some time off.
I feel like I needed it.
Yeah.
I feel like I needed it because it was just gonna eat me alive.
Yeah.
At a certain point, I feel like
The
that
monster was becoming too big to manage.
Yeah, and I feel like that was God listening to me.
Yeah.
Because I'd be like, I want this to stop. I need this to end. And when the pandemic started, I was like, wow. And my dad used to tell me, this came to save you because I don't think you'd qualify. And that would hurt me a little. And then I'd be like, thanks, valeu. And then when the whole rumors about Olympics being adiad, I was just like, I needed this. I want some time off the waters for some time.
Yeah.
But if I had gotten back, because I managed to lose weight, right? After, thank God. I managed to lose weight after some time. So if I had gotten back, it would have been pressure all over again. And 10 times harder because it's like you're skinny now.
So now you have to
So
deliver.
now you have to deliver everything that someone else was. And my dad used to ask me, manda fotos para o treinador, agora que estás não sei quem, And I'd be like, let me not. Because now it's conseguiste, tá bem. Então now you qualify.
Yeah.
So that's the whole new cycle of pressure. And I was like, please, give me some time. I'll be back whenever I feel like I want to come back.
How long has it been since?
A year.
A year.
Yeah, I think I swam.
That's good enough.
Yeah, I swam for a bit quando voltou, não sei o quê, bocadinho, but I was just like, nah, let me just take some time off. Yeah, so like a year. I'll probably just go back next season, to be honest.
So like now, we've been seeing you in a different space.
Yeah.
A more,
Completely.
more glamorous, more, lively and all that
More
stuff.
artistic.
But
I
the
wanna
thing is,
say.
I want to take us back.
Yeah.
And maybe that's the reason why a lot of the people that will be listening, watching to this will be here.
Yeah.
Because of like what you've done in the game in terms of acceptance, because back in the day, I ever remember my mom she just joined the gang now. She just joined the gang.
The natural hair.
Yeah.
Ooh, welcome,
I remember
mommy.
back in the day, like idea, you just go retocar every weekend.
Yeah, pô produto.
E senhora
was
Jean
the-
Salão
was the
era
shit.
tipo, como está a queimar? Está a queimar isso aqui.
Não tem nada de gravar, mané.
Yeah. Está a queimar isso aqui. Yeah. Como está a queimar? Yeah, mas vai ficar bonito. Mas tá queimado, you know?
That was the norm.
That was the norm. But then all
Yeah.
of a sudden you come in here and you're showing people this new wave of how things should be done and how we should embrace our own natural hair. And like we're like, especially as guys, we're just like, okay, whatever. But I think there was like a big shift amongst a lot of women at the time. That was back in what,
15, 16, yeah, around that time. Con
Still a
Snapchat
very,
badia.
it's still a very
recent.
mature movement.
Yeah.
But like it's been growing and all that stuff. And whenever I think about that, I could be wrong, and I'm willing to be stood corrected.
Yeah.
But I think you're foste a primeira pessoa quem mostra a fazer aquela cena. Bro.
I want to think so as well.
A
At
fazer
least
tipo falar
na nossa,
abertamente.
Yeah, at least no círculo que eu conheço, I want to say I was one of the first people to actually say, eu vou criar uma página e eu vou vos ensinar how we're going to do this. Estás a ver? Yeah, I wanna agree.
How was that? Like, how has that experience been like?
I think that stemmed from me not accepting myself because someone else told me, when I was younger na escola, it was teu cabelo é assim, não sei o quê. So I used to transar all the time. And when I got to 13, 14, I understood that I wanted to look nice. Then foi produtos odoras, cabelo era assim, não sei o quê. And there was girls I'd look up to na escola that would bully me, that were my friends, that I'd be like, teu cabelo é muito bonito, I really want that. So I followed that trend. And I remember, and this is uma imagem, uma nem nice na minha cabeça, because I understand that at a certain point I was part of this problem. So it goes, I cut my hair, and the very first time, yeah, but like the very first time that I did that, eu fui para casa da minha prima, shout out Yara. Eu fui para casa da minha prima. She's washing my hair, so I feel like it was very long, and I feel like I still have that picture to this day. And she took a picture of it. And eu vi meu cabelo encaracolado, tipo de mulata. And I was like, meu cabelo é bonito assim. Tipo, this whole time I let people bully me that my hair was ugly. Meu cabelo afinal é assim. Obviously, I had that perception na minha cabeça que uma cena que não é isto, é feio. Tipo, crespo.
Seu cabelo não era straight.
Não, era curly hair. Tipo, esses 3Cs, não sei o que. But I was still buying into aquele tabu de que se não é encaracolado não é bonito. Because that's what I had initially. Tipo, meu cabelo era crespo. And that's what people didn't like. Tipo, teu cabelo, não sei o que, whatever, duro, não sei o que. All that. Yeah. So when I saw that, I was very happy. I was like, afinal, meu cabelo é assim. Tipo, afinal, eu tenho caracóis, não sei o que. But that's still me, like, selling that image of se não é encaracolado é feio. Estás a ver? So, I think it took me some time to understand that there are different type of hairs and there's different type of people that will be born com cabelo que eu tinha e eu não aceitava. So, for me, it was like, I think after that, I still did some shit with my hair. I don't remember. Porque eu sei que o meu segundo, I think, big job foi em 2014, 15. Yeah, around that time. That's when it started.
Yeah.
That's when I was like, fuck you guys. Vocês não vão me dizer nada. Like, this is... And that's when I think being in I have mixed people in my family. So my dad's black. So I have cousins that are black. And then my mom's side, which everyone, some will like to think não sei o quê. So luckily, thank God, I'm friends with both sides very well. Like I really, really, really appreciate both of the sides. Não tem aquela cena de that side não é nice, não sei o quê. Yeah. So I used to see my cousins, tipo da parte do meu pai, e eu via que elas tinham cabelo que I once had. And once I didn't feel pretty with that. But I wouldn't want my cousins to not feel pretty. Tá a ver? Tipo, eu não gramava, então eu entendia que maybe elas não vão gramar também. Tá a ver? Então, I think that's when it started to come to me where I was like, Denise, if you know something, teach people.
Yeah.
David. I remember in 2016, eu comecei a cena the Snapchat. It was called Curly Diary.
Yeah.
So I'd go on Snapchat, and the funny thing about Snapchat is that you have to be tuned into that. You need to watch it because 24 hours later it's gone.
Yeah, it's gone.
David. So I'd have people like go in there, não sei o quê. And then I had entrei num grupo de Kashi Crespos. We had this group chat where myself and a few other girls, I feel like some of them, you know, Tatiana, Melissa.
Yeah.
Some of them, we became pioneers of that movement. Mas isso foi later, 2017, I think, around that time. Yeah. So, with Curly Diary, my intention was, eu vou vos ensinar a cuidar do vosso cabelo. Tipo, eu vou vos dizer que vocês têm um cabelo bonito, que vocês podem fazer XYZ com o vosso cabelo. Because it was a lot of, I never felt pretty for so long. And I didn't embrace my hair for so long. And seeing my cousins not embracing that, was like, what the hell? Your hair is so pretty. Tipo, estás a falar o quê, bro? You know? And I think it was a very... punch in the gut, tipo, Joe. Se tu não acreditavas em ti, elas também não vão acreditar nelas mesmas, estás a ver? Tipo, you can't blame them for that. So for me, it was a step of let's do. And também foi muito de eu sei e eu vou ensinar. Estás a ver? Quando tu sabes uma cena e you're like, ela ensina esses putos. I think it was kind of that. Porque era muito de ensinar a cuidar, dar receitas, não sei o que. Não era muito de... Nunca foi palestra de vocês são bonitas, aceitem a vossa cena, não sei o quê. E I think it's the thing that you told me about, you just guide people. You don't tell them what you're doing, you just guide them. So I think it was that. It was more of me saying, cuidem do vosso cabelo. Daqui uma máscara que faz assim e alguém experimenta, fica tipo, meu cabelo tá tão bonito, não sei o quê. So they like that. So they're going to do it more often. Tá a ver? So it was more of teaching them o que eu sei. Inventar uma máscara aqui, inventar aqui, não sei o quê. Comprar esse produto, experimentar e dizer, guys, esse produto funciona, não sei o quê. Depois uma pessoa com um cabelo diferente experimentar e fica tipo, a Denise disse que não sei o quê, eu tô bonita, então eu vou repetir e vou usar mais vezes, não sei o quê. So it becomes a chain. And unconsciously, they start wearing the hair more. They start liking the hair more. They start feeling pretty. So now there's no need to deslizar, there's no need to esticar. And then you put that thing in their heads, tipo, esticar estraga, tem uns cachos. So now they don't go pro salão anymore.
Obviamente, né? Tu queres manter os cachos,
so they don't go pro salão. So I think it was me teaching myself.
And then the same process teaching others.
Teaching someone else, but without telling them.
That's the best way for you to teach yourself something. When you teach others.
And it was nice because you'd learn também from them, and it was more of guidance, like you can feel pretty like that. Se não queres, that's fine. Se queres desfilizar, tudo bem. But I'm going to show you how you can feel pretty in your own hair. And then eventually, I feel like they let the guard down and they started enjoying that. And it was a nice journey until I just got tired.
Why did you get tired, bro? Like, right now, you would have been like...
a big thing.
The big thing on it.
Yeah, definitely.
That's the problem with a lot of pioneers here. Dude. They start, they push, all of a sudden they're like, bro, I'm just bored.
Eu acho que é sentimento de I've done my part. Tá a ver? É uma
Agora
cena de I don't want to pursue this anymore. Because aquele nosso grupo, tipo, Caixas e Crespos, ficou uma comunidade. We had people from all over Moçambique. No cap. We had around... Maximum no grupo de coisas, era malta 200 pessoas, assim. Nós tínhamos mais 100, não sei o quê. It got to a point where we had competition. Now I don't want to mention names, mas uma dama criou um grupo e estava a chamar pessoas, tipo, instead of, like, we were just like, bro, you can join us. Mas essa pessoa estava tipo, não, eu vou criar meu, porque eu também quero criar, because it creates a buzz. When everyone começa a dar a conhecer, não sei o quê, todo mundo já quer um Shanecast também. Tá a ver? And you're like, bro, come be my guest. Come talk about your story here. But someone else always wants to try and do, which is good. It was fine, but like it created this whole buzz. Everyone would come. We even had rules in the group because we were so many. Então não podiam falar isso certas horas. O grupo fechava, não sei o que. So I feel like at a certain point it became something that needed time. You needed to be
Então ficou
concentrated.
job. Já não era
Because you need to research.
Já não era divertimento.
Yeah, já não era eu entrar no Snapchat e eu ensinar aquilo que eu sei, não sei o que. It was like 100 people asking for advice every single day. Essa máscara pode, alguém já experimentou isso? Onde é que eu posso comprar isto? O que açúcar faz? Não sei o que. Por que meu cabelo está a cair? Nananana. So it became uma assessoria de bro. Por que o teu cabelo está a cair? I need to go research that.
Tu já ficas accountable.
Não, isso eu acho que nunca aconteceu. Acho.
De tipo
Because we always used to tell people, tipo, cada cabelo é um cabelo, o que fica bem para mim pode não ficar bem para ti. Vamos experimentar, estamos todos a aprender.
Sim.
A good thing about what I did and what some of the girls did was that we always kept it at a we're also learning level.
Yes.
Estás a ver? So you feel comfortable if I come and tell you, Joe, eu quero fazer isso aqui contigo, mas eu também não sei. So you're not thinking, esse gajo vai ter expectations for me, não sei o que, estás a ver? Então I feel like they all felt comfortable because they also felt as if we're still learning and they can teach us just as much as we can teach them. So it was nice until it felt like you have to be constantly feeding people information, you constantly have to be researching and this, because hair is still something that tens que ter cuidado because it can break, it can fall, it can damage.
And not just that, like in that specific part of that segment que vocês escolheram, because I also did my research on it before, because I once tried to understand like the whole thing around it. Eu vi que não há assim tanto research nessa parte de curly to like crespo, como se diz cabelo crespo em inglês?
Coily.
Yeah. Curly and coily hair.
Yeah.
There like the big brands that are like criarem esses produtos só começaram a investir no research and development dessa parte agora.
Recently,
então, é muito difícil essa estás a dizer. O teu research is just as limited as the research that has already happened.
Exactly.
Ou testemunhos de outras pessoas que também já...
Because if you think about it, this stems from racism.
Yeah. Pretty much.
It goes way back.
That's exactly
so
what
you're fighting a whole society. You're fighting people. You can only learn so much because they can only teach so much because they also don't know.
Yeah.
Most of the times you go to Google and stuff because obviously again most não vai dizer teu pai está a estudar cabelo, right? So you can only go to the internet and do that extra step that some people are lazy to do. But then even Google is as limited as you know, because they also are trying to figure out why before we couldn't have this and now we're trying to love ourselves. So now we're learning and testing. And it was a beautiful process, I want to say. It was nice to see that eventually it created little things, tipo páginas no Instagram, assim, não sei que. And it's nice when you see yourself in that. When someone's putting out uma receita and you're like, I remember once I was doing that, and you see people giving advice and you jump in and you're like, oh, by the way, don't do that to your hair because you have, eu tenho aquela experiência assim, que é tipo, okay, I'm a bit of a big dog when it comes to hair and stuff like that. I just don't invest on it as much, and I tried. Foi so long, tipo, YouTube, quando eu voltei bocadinho, eu tinha cenas de cabelo, não sei o quê. I'm just on the Lord, just letting people do like not do care, and I was a big pioneer in this as well. There's so many girls. Carla does so much about hair, so I just let them do. They have the time to invest. Go for it.
Damn. Yeah, man. Like, bro, this is I say like there's a lot of people doing awesome things in this país, bro, but.
And then
Amanda só fica tipo, é porque aquela cena de como eu, Denise, posso lhe apanhar assim nas ruas, bro, Denise, man.
And it was nice as well because I was a swimmer, or I am a swimmer. So people were like, como é que teu cabelo fica bonito assim quando estás a nadar?
Okay.
Yeah, so they come to me and be like, e eu pintava meu cabelo desde 2016 que eu tinha cabelo loiro. Não estraga. Como é que consegues manter teu cabelo?
Não sei se isto que aconteceu com o cabelo de Misha quando ela pintou.
Oh, bro, coitado. So that's why people would come to me. It's like, como é que teu cabelo ainda não estragou até hoje? Com cloro, com tinta, com descolorar, com descolorir.
Mas tinhas 2 toucas?
No. I just take care of my hair. Like, I genuinely get home, hidratar and fazer cronogramas capilares, não sei o que. And that's what I teach. Tipo, if I can do it with cloro, e vocês só vão à escola, like, guys, come on, you guys can actually do this, estás a ver?
Hey,
Oh,
look
yeah.
good.
It's nice stuff that you can get and help people. Tipo, da tua vida normal. Tem muita cena que inspira someone else. Estás a ver? Tipo, without it being directly, because hair and swimming have nothing
Nothing
to
to
do.
do.
Mas tu a vês uma
Exactly.
nadadora com um cabelo bonito, you kind of think she's a reliable source
Yes.
type of thing. Yeah.
And when does this thing, now moving on to
Something else.
when does this thing of you all of a sudden you're like a manager. You do a
What is this swimming
Joe.
person doing here?
And like how did you even fall in that thing? Because primeira vez que eu ouvi uma cena assim, eu estava a falar com o Cipriano, he was talking about escolhido. And then it's like, yeah, man, and Denise also helped.
Denise, what the?
Alright,
who's
cool.
this?
She makes some drawings.
This
She
kid?
makes some drawings and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
She's a YouTuber, but
Yeah.
like, yeah.
And that's the initial thought that everyone has, and I kind of like enjoyed that for a bit because it's a bit of I'm able to prove myself, so I can see.
So it goes back to what you said in the beginning, ambition.
Yeah. It's me knowing myself. Like I know I'm a very, very talented person, people, and it's not like on an ego thing. Like I know I can do so much, and I just need to dedicate time to it. As a very tipo, whatever it is, I can do it.
Yeah.
And down the initial thought that people have when they see me in a field that is like what is this kid doing? Because I've always been a kid, and this is a funny thing. I've never hung out with people my own age, unless like na escola, porque é onde tenho a faixa. Mas mesmo na escola, I didn't have friends because of like bullies and stuff. Foi uma ninguém weird minha cena na escola, but outside of school, it was swimming.
Yeah.
So with swimming, I never had. I was always. I've been good. So by the time I was swimming properly and competing, I was already with the big dogs.
Oh, okay.
I was already with people older than me.
With the federados.
Yeah. Tipo, by the time I started competing, tipo, já treinava com grupo A.
Okay.
Nunca treinei com pessoas da minha idade. Não sei que eu não brincava com pessoas que tinham minha idade 15, 16, já was like 18, 19, 20. Os mais velhos. So, mesmo no meio agora... Sorry. Mesmo no meu meio, tipo assim, quando eu saí, por causa de eu já ter amigos mais velhos, não sei o que, meu meio social foram sempre pessoas um bocadinho mais velhas, right? Tipo, Derek, não sei o que, mesmo na escola, Letícia, nanana. Então, when I get into a space like, what is this kid doing here? Do you know her?
I mean, I don't even look at you as a kid. It's just like, I was like...
Why?
Yeah, I was just okay.
Yeah, but like, that's the impression people usually have, like, Denise. Why? It's okay. Getting into what you ask. It started in 2018, I think. Junior. Around that time. I don't remember. I think CZ is the person to speak on this because I don't remember specific moments where we worked together. I just know he'd get an idea from me here and there. And I feel like I'm very good at expressing what I want to tell you. So when people speak to me, they're like, wow, I didn't know you had that in you. So I think with him, it was a bit of little conversations where like, I'm going to keep her in my pocket just in case something great comes out of this. And then, how did this start? I honestly, I don't remember. Tipo, eu não lembro de específico momento where he was like, come.
Yeah.
I want you. I think it was just little conversations that would have here and there that eventually stemmed to, I need you at the studio. Come listen to this. And then there's certain opinions that you hear and you're like, wow, that changes a lot. And I think it became that. And then we just started bonding a lot, and we just started, I started being more present, and I started telling him, no, not this, that. And I started, obviously with the studies that I've had around social media and understanding things, that's how I started with him.
Yeah.
It was more of I'm going to help you with strategizing your craft. I'm going to help you market that. I'm going to help you put it out because I know what people want to see. Because I've always been that social media type of person. People, I know what it's like from the outside, what I want to see, what's appealing and everything. So I think the escolhido experience is the most the
most
thing,
vivid,
yeah,
like
the
where-
thing that brought me into this artsy world.
Yeah.
Because from that, it got me into starting working with other people.
Yeah.
But it all just started from CZ believing in me. It just started from CZ looking at me and saying, your brain is worth so much and no one knows that.
Yeah.
And I want to show the world that.
Yeah.
So I don't think he even thought about himself more. Like he thought about me more than anything. Like, no one's seeing this girl. Why is no one seeing this girl? So it stemmed from that, of him coming to me and saying, come, I'm gonna help you do something with what you have in the cabeza. And obviously, because he's an artist, it was with his projects. So it started, and I started going to meetings, and he wanted my opinion all the time, and he'd call me and he'd tell me this, and I'm thinking about this, da, 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 da. And then I think the peak of this whole experience was when Dream Inc. thing, that whole situation of becoming corporate, no sé qué happened. So when they started pulling you in and this and that, no sé qué, that was the big project where everyone was like, Denise, afinal faz essa cena toda.
At that time I'd already joked, né? So I was like,
Yeah,
okay, cool.
yeah.
Já
So
tinha fa-
it
eu já-
started
yeah.
from him just saying, you are a very special kid.
Yeah.
And no one else knows the information that you know. Because how many people do you know that are this young and are understanding social media the way I understood or understand, basically, right? Because now I'm doing big things. Obviously, I understand something about it. But like, it was that. It was looking at people my age and saying, you guys are very superficial. And look at this girl, she's a star. I think it stemmed from that. And I'm very grateful because he held my hand and said, come, I'm going to show you. Because he's a big dog. He's friends with 8 and Revo and you and people that have been doing this for years, because Dreaming começou back in 2014, né? E são pessoas que I've always admired, and I'd be like, wow, como é que eles fazem essas cenas? So he held my hand and he was like, come, I'm gonna show you to the big dogs now and they're gonna like you so much. And that's the initial reaction I had with everyone, I think. Even 8, who today works with me, he was like, Denise. What? Okay.
It's because most of us, we know you from the swimming space.
Yeah, not even just swimming, because I feel like I'm very respected in the swimming world. But like, just seeing me on Twitter, I feel like people look at me as uma palhaça that she's
Everyone is a clown on Twitter.
Yeah,
I don't take the
but you
Twitter
know, they're just like,
facade.
This é uma imagem que eu nunca vou tirar da minha cabeça. People look at me and they ask, what is this kid doing? The people that know me.
Oh, okay.
Not now. From outside, I feel like there's a different image of what I am. Yeah, eu sei.
Oh, from outside, there's a blogueirinha.
Yeah, eu sei.
I feel like a lot of people are going to be watching this like, bro,
what is she saying?
I've not perfect this again.
Yeah.
Or
Like, from
something like
outside,
that.
I understand that there's a lot of people that look at me and like, influencer, isto, não sei quê. No, I understand that. But people that know me, though, that have seen me in ambientes and know me from being friends with like people like Miriam, não sei quê, and parties and na. They know I'm a kid. They know I'm still going to school or still doing this, não sei quê. And they're like, you know, when you look at someone, you're like, o que essa pessoa está a fazer aqui? Yeah, but I feel like I'm driving a bit away from your conversation. But like, yeah, that's how it started. It was just CZ being a very awesome friend and saying, I want people to see what you're capable of because I'm seeing it. So he put me in the marketing department, obviously. And then eventually I met 8 and started working a bit more in depth when it came to things with Dream Inc. Because we were very focused on Escolhido at a certain point. Because it was supposed to come out in either that year or February.
Novembro do ano passado.
Ia sair em novembro.
Yeah.
I don't know.
30 de novembro de 2020. Foi essa a primeira. I think by now it will have come out or naquela Natal dada, né? Or something. But I'll only believe it when I play the first track from side 8. That's when I'll be like, it's out. Yeah.
Because even now the days change, but like so we were very tight to its schedule and we needed, and because this was going to be his biggest album, and we were like, there's
still going to be.
No, definitely. But like now I feel like the pressure's a bit off.
Yeah.
Now we're a bit more working differently and stuff like that. But that time we were like, we are gonna do something no one has ever done. How do we do it? You know, because there's no one to come and hold a hand and say, follow these steps, because no one had done anything of we were doing, and we were scheming things from colors, from listening to the songs over and over and say, this feels warm. And I remember there's this project that I made from just listening to the songs and saying, this feels very cold, so this should be on the side, and drawing things and making mood boards. And we were in a world where I had never worked on, but I knew it. And then people used to see, like, I know 8 would look at things that I did and be so geeked about it, and like, how are you this person? How did I not know about you from before? Like, obviously I can't speak for them, but that's what I felt, that sometimes they aquele feeling, tipo, Joe, como? Estás a ver? And then that's how I started getting into it. The Dreaming project was a very big thing, and Escolhido was a very, very big thing to put me on that, on the pedestal that I am now, because then with that knowledge comes power. So them knowing that I was that, they were like, temos trunfo na mão, basicamente, we can do so much with this girl. So that's them from everything that it is now. Yeah, but it was just.
And how has it been now? Like, how the shift, you know, because you went from working with you know, people, like more people, to now work on a more corporate type of environment.
Yeah.
Like, it's transition. How has it been like?
So I feel like it was very quick. I want to say that.
Yeah.
But obviously one thing that I'm grateful for was the fact that I was working with people that were just as ambitious as I was, or that I am. So it was never, you are thinking too far ahead, it came from me being the marketeer for Escolhido to CZ being like, bro, you have potential to be my manager. Let's sign contracts now, quick. So now I'm a manager, and then I'm working at a eye level, and I'm able to tell him no, and I'm able to tell him, you can't do this, and I don't like this, and sitting on a meeting and telling him, no, we're not going to go through with that because that makes no sense, and changing colors and changing outfits and shoots and stuff. So he went from that so quickly, because obviously this happened in the span of a year, to obviously Dream Inc. not happening, but then 8 has this brilliant idea that he believes in so much, and he's like, you are the person to come and do this with us. So it was quick. I didn't see it coming, any of it, because with CZ I thought it was just going to be that, and then moving to manager was like, wow, do I know what a manager does? Yeah. So then from that not happening, obviously I work with him independently because now there's no Dream Inc. But from that, it became, I want you at my company. So I'm thinking, it created a buzz around it because I didn't know how to support that. This is 8 now. So he's like, so I want you in my company. You're gonna do this social media thing that you've been doing. You're very good at it. You're brilliant. You this and you that. And our first client is gonna be Taib Bakar.
Pow!
Yeah, and I'm like, and for me, it wasn't a big thing because I already looked at him as a big person. I already looked at him as a big dog. Obviously, I understand that maybe he doesn't see himself how we see him from the outside, porque tipo, os trabalhos que ele fazia antes maybe aren't as close as to what he does now. Yeah. But for me, it was already, I used to tell people, tipo, estás a ver aquela coisa, tem Bakar, quem fez foi Dudu, conheces Dudu? Ei, estás a ver? So I already saw him as this huge thing there that I couldn't grasp. So when he comes to me and he tells me, I want you and I can't do this with anyone else but you, I was like, maybe I'm the next big thing. Yeah. So the transition was very quick, but it was very organic. It was very, I worked for this. Or not even I worked for this because it wasn't that much of a hustle. It was, I'm worthy of this. Yeah. Yeah, it was, I know where my spot is. So I feel like it was very, you had it in you, someone just had to see it. Because it was very quick from marketing to now part of dreaming, whatever, and then manager, and then from manager it was someone saying, "Well, I have this idea of a company that I want to make, and I want to manage brands and stuff like that. No one else is doing that, so let's just do it, and I want you to do it." I was like, "Ooh, okay, thanks, let's do it." So it was a very organic transition, but it was also very fast, I think. Because it happened in like a span of a few months.
Yeah.
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 By September, I think we started working. September, January? I don't remember. Sorry, eu não lembro quando é que nós começamos a trabalhar oficialmente com a Taiba Bacai, mas foi running fast.
Yeah.
Muito fast.
And how has it been?
It's been amazing.
Don't you like get scared sometimes when you like make a post on their page and like, bro, all these people that have respect for this brand, all these potential clients and all that stuff, like, you know, it's all in my hands now. And like, you know, I'm part of this big thing that's like way bigger than me. And whenever like I put up something and then people have a look at it, there's a buzz, and there's like weird kind of buzzes, because sometimes it's like, wow, this new collection is so dope. And then sometimes it's like, mas que preços são esses, man? Que eles pensam que saem? Like you're just there like going through all of this. Like, don't you like, you know?
Inicialmente eu tinha muito medo, que tipo...
I can imagine.
Porque uma coisa, uma coisa é tu entras no Shanecast que está a começar and you help build that. Outra coisa é tu encontras uma coisa que já está construída e tipo, estás a entrar. Estás a entrar. Então, entrar na Taiba Bacai foi tipo, bro, eu não posso mess up. Ever. Because if I mess up, then that's milhões de medicais that are going to the bin because of me. I'm one person. Initially it was scary, mas 8 was a very, very huge part of this, because he'd hold my hand. It's going back to the whole holding hand thing and letting you know you're doing fine.
Yeah.
So he was a very helpful piece, because he'd guide me through things. Because obviously ele já tinha trabalhado com o Taibo before, right? So he knew they were like they have that friendship, no sei quê. So it was easier for me to integrar, porque eu tinha alguém que I trust, e alguém que trusted me and was like, just take small steps, we're gonna get there. And initially it was me and him who'd sit down and I'd tell him, can you please help me scheme something for, because we have to post, and say, okay. She was just, and it's a small team, it's just me and him at Bond. Right, so it was nice to know that I wasn't doing things on my own. That if I called him and tell him I'm having trouble with this color scheme, can you help me? And he'd be like just a phone call where it takes away, and he'd help me, and we'd do things together and would plan things. But then, Taib, when I created this amazing friendship, like it's one of the most beautiful things that I've ever seen in my life when it comes to like friendships and stuff. So I felt very secure. I felt very safe, and I felt like I could make mistakes. Estás a ver? Tipo, I didn't see no one held anything over my head and said, you need to reach that. So it was scary for, I think, the first few, it wasn't even that long, maybe a month or two.
So it was scary until you felt the warmth of the place you were in.
Yeah. It was scary until we started talking a bit more, until he started telling me things, and I'd listen, and I'd tell him things, and I see that he's listening.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you just take, because you're thinking, oh, this guy is a big dog. So you're just taking. But then he'd show things like, eu não sei, people, I'm also just as scared as you are.
Yeah.
Tá vendo?
Yeah.
So quando tu vês, tipo, since 2008 and you're still scared. Okay. Maybe we're humans.
I guess é uma cena onde this is all an assumption. You probably used to look at him as someone that's not human, because I mean it's Taiba Bacai, you know. We're not talking about just some random alfaiate, you know, do mercado que você manda fazer camisa de Chigiani. You know, we're talking about Taiba Bacai, and you're like working for him, but then you end up realizing, oh damn,
he's just as human as I am.
This guy, he like he also eats apparently. You know?
Yeah.
You
Não,
know?
mas foi
Também
muito
come, também, you know. Tem que pôr sapatilhas depois já estar as sapatilhas and stuff like that, you know. So
He also feels. E foi realmente muito disso. And like, I can only thank him. Tipo, eu só tenho a lhe agradecer. Quer dizer, ele foi muito acolhedor comigo. Because like, he'd look at me and he'd say, people would have conversations. Would have conversations that go outside the brand. Like, às vezes ele pode me dizer cenas tipo, sabes, eu também tinha muito medo. Eu também tenho muito medo. And he'd tell me experiences and would be like on a shoot or something and he'd tell me something very random about how or why he's there now. I remember the specific time. I'm a copywriter obviously for the whole thing, right? So all the texts come from me. It's me writing things and say, okay. So you're writing newsletters. And obviously that we try to find balance. That's a good thing about the brand is that ninguém diz eu é que digo a última palavra. We find balance. Se eu não gosto, se ele não gosta, se Taib não gosta. Because it's a creative space, estás a ver? Tipo, we're a really small team, so we listen to each other and we're kind of like, o que achas disto, não sei o quê, until we find something that everyone likes, which is good. So I was writing text for newsletters because we were sending out newsletters for the collections, não sei o quê. I wrote something. And that went to Tatiana Tatushko. I feel like everyone knows that she's part of the brand. She's a
I think
co-founder of the
within that space.
Okay, she's the co-founder of the brand, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. They work together. Taib with Tatiana, they're like this. So my text goes to her, and he calls me first. I think sends me something that Ella sublinhou and was like, muda isto, porque ele é um bocadinho mais calminho. So he tells me, muda isto, não sei o quê, porque a Tati acha que não sei o que. E eu não tenho muito contato com a Tati como eu tenho com o Taibo. So then isso vai para a Tati, and then 8 calls me. And then he tells me, então a Tati disse isto sobre o texto, tens que mudar isto, porque está assim, assim, assim. And until then, it's people that I know that are telling me, muda isto, não sei o que. And I'm like, okay, cool. Then she calls me. She's telling me stuff like, o texto está muito dramático. I don't feel like when reading it, I feel arrogance from it. No sé qué. So she's criticizing my work at that point, right? And I felt bad.
Yeah.
I felt terrible. I'm going to be honest. That was one of the experiences where I vividly remember how I felt.
Yeah.
People, obviously, there's been more, but like, because I'm always scared of messing up when the first shoots happen. No sé qué, I'm always trying to be on the spot and help. But that one was a specific moment where I felt criticized and I was like, what the hell did I just do? People, what's going on? So I fixed the thing. I remember I was going out for lunch with my parents and stuff. I fixed the text and everything, and luckily she loved it. She was like, perfect, no sé qué. But then I spoke to him and I told him, people, bro, this is scary. Like, I'm really scared. And he took the time to send me voice notes and to explain, people, think about the bigger picture. We're all doing this for the brand. No one's personally attacking you. She's reading from a perspective of a customer, for instance.
Money.
Yeah. So he sat down and he sent me this text of explaining and saying, tipo, sometimes I draw collections that someone tells me, isso aí não pode, não sei que, na. It's not because they don't like my work. It's because they're looking at the bigger picture. We are working for a brand. Yeah. This is not personal. Like, we need to let it go. And he gave me like the biggest lesson of maybe one of the biggest lessons in life. You need to let go of things, of that emotional attachment, because it's not personal. Estás a ver? So that to say that he's a very supportive person. He's very present. We speak all the time.
Please come through to the podcast.
Yeah, we're gonna get him here one day. Majal, he's very present. He's a friend.
Yeah.
I want to say that, and that's one of the things that makes me feel like I'm part of that, because he's able to hold my hand. I've said hold my hand even my same vezes in this podcast. But he's able to hold my hand and say, it's okay.
Yeah.
People, let's make mistakes together. Vamos errar, vamos acertar. And so many times we've done stuff on the page and we're like, But like at that moment, we don't think about it. But when we do better, we look back and we're like, yeah. But then he's so reassuring because he could have said, yeah, de verdade fizemos merda. He's so reassuring. He's like, não, aprendemos e hoje estamos a fazer
And it's
melhor.
the process. You know, the
Yeah,
other day
so there's no space to be scared.
Eu estava a olhar para os meus episódios passados and I was like, maybe I should remaster this stuff.
Yeah,
You know, I don't
remember
like
you
how
said
they
that,
sound.
yeah.
But then I was like, you know what? I'll
Don't,
deixar
yeah,
assim.
because that's how you see
I'll
progress.
just reinvite them and we'll see how
It's gonna go. Yeah,
we'll see how it goes.
So my fear basically ended when I felt it swarmed, like you said, when I felt that these people are not here to attack me. These people just want me to do good. Because at the end of the day, if I do well, then the brands are doing well. That's of it. Obviously, they're not going to come for me.
Yeah.
So, but it was a very important thing to, because obviously I feel like 8 was already in this world when I met him and when I came. So it was good to have people that were already in the game and said, "Girl, you're good, and come, let's just do this." And don't fear eventually just now. I feel like I even joke with him. I'm like, "It's a mark in me." Yeah, now we're just really
Because I'm a co-owner daquele manjans.
We're just waiting for him to
33%.
retire.
Nada, ele vai ficar.
We're waiting for him to retire.
É só comprar o teu
Ele vai para as
33%.
Bahamas de férias e nós ficamos just taking the whole thing. Yeah.
So yeah, and like, what's next now? Because just in this time that we've been here, we've been through so many phases, and it feels like it's not the end. That's what I'm realizing here. That even in adversity, there's no such thing as like you stopping. And that's a dope thing to have, you know, because a lot of
that's
people,
an inspiring thing.
When they go through like stuff that you've been through, brad, agora já tá numa frente, pá.
Yeah.
Man.
And then not to mention that I'm also a student. Like I'm still going through the things of uni, of staying up late and crying over essays and assignments.
You know what? I like to talk about it, but I don't like talking about it.
School.
Not because it's school, but what usually ends up happening is some people are doing this thing for real, you know? Even though they're students, they're in this thing for real. Like they're pushing it for real. But the fact that they're students or that they have like a normal job, like a 9 to 5, those things end up overshadowing their craft. And a pessoa acaba ficando tipo artista que canta ou sei lá o quê, e depois chega aquela coisa, esse aí está a jogar por causa de taco, you know, ele, you know, é por isso a indústria moçambicana, you know, I feel like the only person that has been able to do that thing right, to balance both work and the art, is JR, so far. JR.
What does he work with?
He works in a bank.
Oh.
Yeah, he works in a bank.
Fancy.
But some people know that he works in a bank, but it's not like a thing of it overshadows his music career. You feel me?
Yeah.
So I usually try to allow, if like right now you spoke about school, cool.
Yeah.
Tell
but
me
it's
about
not
school.
something that you
I'll listen to it,
yeah.
but I won't force you to talk about it because I really want to focus on the craft, on those things that you do.
Something else.
Because like as most kids, we have to get the knowledge, bro. It's one thing that I always try to like get across here on the podcast. Yeah. We need to go to school. We need to get knowledge. We need to like learn stuff. We need to be better individuals. We need to be individuals that are making a contribution to society through knowledge. But not every knowledge that will make a contribution to society will have to be academic.
From school, yeah.
And you're an example for that.
Yeah.
Nobody taught you how to do social media. You just know how to do it.
Yeah.
You do it through intuition.
Yeah. Through learning. Like
and
sitting
intuition.
Down and
in the intuition, like sometimes the intuition tells you to go learn a certain,
out of
you know.
nowhere, yeah. And
yeah.
So
intuition, it's you know the whole thing
it's
around
crazy
it. So basically, that's the whole thing. That like I wanna know like this side of things, like you know, because
the interesting part of things. things. Like
It's not. No. School is also
I don't
interesting.
think school's that interesting.
School can be interesting. School can be interesting.
To what extent?
To the extent to which you're willing to dedicate. Like
I feel
if
like
you're
the
willing to
only interesting part is when you ask someone what they're doing and what they're studying. Like if you ask me, I'm working with things, and then you ask what are you studying, and I'm studying law.
and like the gap.
Yeah, people. What?
yeah.
Como? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the interesting part. Anything else, I have no idea.
Same thing with me. Like I'm here doing all this. Like at your
What do you
parkour.
study? Business.
I did finance, bro. So
yeah, exactly.
so like,
You'd expect you
like,
to be at a bank,
yeah, stuff like that. But like I'm here, like a chamar malta, trap.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
reviewing
what?
songs.
Yeah,
and
Joe,
stuff,
like you know, so
yeah.
but like, what's next? Like, what should we expect, or is it one thing that you're just gonna? We need to wait for it to get to that level, and then we'll just see it flourishing.
I think this is like good thing because obviously, as I've explained, I'm very inconsistent with the things that I do because I like something, so I just go for it and I do it, and then I stop, and then I do something else, and it's like, yeah, and this now feels like it has to be consistent. It has to stick around because now it's on a whole new level. It's the whole company on my back, basically. That's a ver. Aiden and I are trying to, well, obviously it's everything is his, but I always say Aiden and I because it feels like we're building it on like the two of us, right? Because it's just the two of us right now. So I feel like this is something that's supposed to be big. I want it to be big just as much as he does. So I feel like this is one thing that's gonna stick around, and you're still gonna hear for like the next Shanecast. I'm still gonna be talking about things that Bond is gonna do.
Yeah.
Cause I don't think we have it. We don't have it here, and it was a great thing for him to think we're gonna start now managing image of brands. That's it. So I think. There are no expectations, honestly, because with my life, everything's crazy. I must say, maybe I'm gonna go back to swimming. Maybe I'm just gonna go back to swimming e ficar tipo, eu já não posso gastar mais tempo porque now Olympics are coming up, não sei o quê. So I have zero expectations to what to expect.
Yeah.
But I feel like this one is a big, like this is the next big thing, at least in my life, where it has to be just as consistent as swimming was. Yeah, because this is huge. Like, it's huge. Like, just to think about it, the things that we still plan and we still want to do, and we're still coming and drawing and still making as projects and stuff, it's going to be something for the books, I think. Especially when it starts to turn into something where we need more people. Where we feel like, guys, we need to start employing. That's when you're like, oh, wow, that's an actual corporate. So I feel like it's something that for as much as I would wake up one day and feel like quitting, I can't. So I feel like this is one thing to expect, even though there's no expectation. This is one thing that I hope sticks for the longest. And yeah, everything else is just an enigma, I guess. Because maybe I'll be back swimming, maybe I won't, maybe I'll start dancing. On the big one, you know.
We want to see Denise dancing.
Yeah. No, but I danced for like 7 years of my life.
Like professional?
Yeah.
Really? Did you go till the último nível, que é like S1 or no?
I did. I used to dance at school.
Which school did you go to? Like
Lud
nacional
dance.
or?
No, Lud dance.
Lud dance, yeah.
Because I had a teacher. She.
Doutora Lucília.
Yes.
Também foi minha professora.
Sim, nossa professora de dança tinha uma escola. So most of us just went there, estás a ver? Mas...
And then, vocês da escola eram os favorites para serem postos à
For
frente.
sure.
Os da escola dela, os que vão à escola nacional. Sempre vos escolhiam para ficar ali à frente.
A escola nacional tem um preconceito com nós das outras escolas.
If
Que a
it's
escola
the best
nacional,
school.
a escola nacional é tipo,
It's like the best school.
dançarina. A escola nacional, you're like, no, like, okay, então pronto. Like, you know what I'm saying? But like,
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Well.
I know what you're
we
saying.
did everything, all of it. So yeah, maybe, don't say, I don't know, maybe art, pintar uns quadros aí. I've been thinking about doing some of them. Mas I don't know. I don't know. I honestly don't know.
But I think anima mais assim.
When you don't know.
Not just that, like especially for us, when we're like, because we just see all these things happening and you don't know who's feeling inspired.
Yeah.
You don't know. You have no clue. You have
Yeah.
no clue. Like the people that are watching this, you don't know who just got inspired by this,
Yeah.
who has been getting inspired by the things that you're doing.
This is a lot of vulnerability. This is a very vulnerable spot to be at because you end up talking about things that you never thought you'd share. And now it's going to go online and everyone's going to be like, wow, she went through that.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And I just hope that raises more appreciation. Not aquela appreciation de pena. It's like, oh, dude, you. Mas tipo appreciation de damn. Like look at her.
Yeah.
Look at what she's done.
Yeah.
You know.
And what she's still doing.
Exactly. So,
and that's a really nice thing. And I feel like that's one thing that I've always lived with is look at what I'm doing. People, I'm doing so much and I don't even sometimes I stop and I think, wow, there's so much going on. I'm managing to do it. Like even with my struggles and everything, like obviously I do struggle. But then I think, wow, look at where I've so far. Like I'm here and anyone else can do this. Like you just need to push yourself a little bit, pat yourself on the back for a little. So it's a nice thing to be in the spot and think about that.
Yeah. We were talking about something before we started recording.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, a lot of people don't know how to deal with money and stuff. So if I gave you right now $2 million, which problem would you solve? It can be personal or, a world problem or something. Which problem would you solve?
$2 million.
Yeah. So specifically to solve a problem. Personal or a world problem.
Right now, I think I'd invest in swimming. I think I'd do that because I feel like that's a place where I want to go back to. And I feel most of the time that most of us stop at a younger age, like at the age where we're supposed to be peaking and swimming more and stuff like that because there's no hope. Because a federation wants to invest in younger swimmers because they think they're the next big thing until they stop. So I think that would be my main focus. Obviously, there's stuff in my head where I'm like, I could build schools. I'm thinking, I could build schools. Podia melhorar hospitais, não sei que. But right now, I feel like
so you believe in the talent pool that Moz has?
100%. 100%. I just feel, and there's something that I don't know if it was recording when I was telling you about the age that we stop. I don't think we were.
Not sure. I don't think so.
I don't know. But like, what happens here no desporto daqui é que nós desistimos porque não tem investimento. É tipo, once school starts, school is more important. Our parents are always going to tell us that. Então, vamos começar a faltar treinos porque temos trabalho da escola, porque temos exames, porque não sei o quê. Se começamos a trabalhar, vamos chegar tipo, bro, fuck swimming. Tipo, I'm getting money. Swimming is not getting me anything. Estás a ver? Se tu és o melhor, não és levado a viagens porque não tem fundos, não sei o quê. So I feel like swimming would be, obviously not the whole 2 million, mas tipo, it would be a big part of what I'd want to invest in. Because not just for me, but I have friends that are so talented that don't have opportunities to show themselves, like show people what they're capable of. Because sometimes all it takes is for you to go on one trip and a coach sees you and you're like, come swim for me. And I've had that. I've had to, like, obviously I'm a national swimmer, so I've traveled. I've had people come up to me and to my coaches and say, we want to coach this girl. So all it had to happen was for my coach to say yes and my parents say yes, and I'd be, we don't know where I'd be. That's it. So I feel like swimming would be definitely a big thing for me to invest in because there's so much talent in Mars that people don't see and people don't know about because not everyone has money to invest in their kids. They're just like, Joe, vai lá nadar como hobbies, não dá. But some people really
procurar mano.
Maninho,
Minha irmã nadava. I did swimming back in the day because my sister was so to the swimming because she had asthma. Então,
But at a certain point, I also swam because of that. I remember.
Procurar asma.
Ajudar com a respiração, não sei o quê. But
Joe, I feel like As kids, we've had very similar experiences across the board.
Yeah.
Not dar procurar rasmo.
That would be something I'd solve. But then there's other stuff you can. I feel like most people that believe they're very educated will think we are going to invest on like property and apartments and stuff, and then money's gonna come back, and it's like, which is good, and I'd probably do that.
Yeah.
But I think we need to think about. I think a lot about the greater good. I don't know if that's a good thing or like
no,
just
it's not bad to think about that.
yeah. So for instance, when I'm in a situation where I'm sick and I have to go through the whole testing, and sometimes we go to South Africa to see outro médico, não sei quê. The only thing that goes through my head is there's probably 5 other people with the same problem but don't have access to these doctors.
Yeah.
My brother had to do an MRI once and it was like 40K. What if someone has back problem as well? They can't get an MRI. That's a bit. So I managed to go to SA to train for the Olympics. What if someone has just as much talent but can't go and pay the amount of money I was paying to be trained? Yeah. So I think that investing in those things are priority to me before myself, because I know how much privilege I have. I know how much knowledge I have. I know how much once I finish school, I might have a job because my dad has a company. Or if I'm sick, then I'm going to be able to go to the hospital or just anything. People, I know I'm probably going to be set for life because I have it in me. People, I don't feel useless. And this is not like an egotistical vibe. This is me knowing, I'm going to be great. People, if I don't slack today, tomorrow you're going to talk about me, you know? So I know I'm set, kind of. I know the power that I have, the knowledge. I know I can be great. I know I'm going to be great. So I think a lot about the people that can't have that. The people that, not because they don't want to, but because they genuinely just can't go to the hospital and pay 40K for some of whatever treatment they need. So I think investing in those small areas where you like, go push yourself, go find out what you have, go find out what talent you have, go do. That's something that I'd want to do. Once I got the chance, so you can give me $2 million. That'd be.
I'll see what I can do about that. You know, I'll just have to like contact some friends and get them to, you know, wire you the funds.
That would be nice. Like what's I saying? That's all. Bro. Essa pita me convenceu, man. Let's go. Let's give her $2 million.
Yeah, like she just needs $2 million, bro.
Yeah,
like,
so the wish ela vai multiply essa cena.
Yeah,
because,
man, you know, $2 million.
Yeah.
Come on, man. But Denise.
This is nice. This is fun.
Yeah, this is dope as hell.
Yeah, this is why I think about having something to talk, because I really enjoy this moment of talk. Sometimes I have conversations with myself in front of my mirror. And I'm just telling stories and I'm asking myself questions and answering. Sometimes I have like full-on interviews. People saw my famous. You know how famous people have those interviews? Yeah. Because I really enjoy having this moment of just talking about and sharing experience and stuff like that. So yeah,
it's great.
Yeah.
It was great to have you here. It's great to have you as someone that I can just approach at random times and ask for. Because even myself, I sometimes come and ask you for advice on like random things and like stuff like that.
Yeah, right.
yeah. And you also do the same thing when you feel like
it's nice.
You know?
Yeah, it's nice to have someone, to have access to someone like that. Yeah.
And dude, I just wish you all the best, man.
Thank you.
Continue.
I'm just not ready for people to like start marking my accent on this podcast.
Hey. Sinceras desculpas, Joe. Sabe, when you started talking, I was like, think interromper para dizer o pessoal para não deslocar. But you know what? It's whatever.
It's cool.
It's whatever.
Let it happen.
Because I know how people
let it come.
I know people are just gonna be like, wow, this girl in her accent. That must be annoying.
It is. No, it is. I've cried. I've cried once. And I've complained. Because see, the thing is, there's people that like come and compliment, like, you're a British accent. I was like, okay. But there's people that like, você fala assim. And they mock me. But then, na minha cabeça, eu tipo, bro, se eu não falasse assim, não achas que eu não ia falar para tu não vis me provocar?
Because
I just take that thing constantly, right? So if I didn't speak like this, then I'd probably
Era só
not.
meter um code switch,
Exactly.
maninho.
É só
Era
eu
só
falar
meter um
normalmente,
code
falar
switch.
igual a ti. Because people, I never question people that go to South Africa and come back saying, hey, bruv, or whatever, however you speak, does of it. So, I don't know. I just learned to take it. I ignore it and whatever we
It's
move.
whatever,
Yeah,
man.
you know.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much
Thank you.
for coming through.
I appreciate it.
You have the platform to say whatever it is that you want to say to the peeps, you know. If you don't want to say anything, then just, you know. But if you have anything that you want to share.
Say, but like, obviously, guys, you guys heard the story. One thing that I'd like to remind people is that you never know what people are truly going through.
Yeah.
You never know what people are actually dealing with. So like, being nice, being kind, being supportive is a nice thing. People do know. I feel like a lot of people, especially myself, know that we can do a lot by ourselves. But I think being a friend is a really nice thing that we should all learn how to do, because it's nice to see you troll people on Twitter and stuff like that, but it's also nice to come check on you and ask you, was everything okay?
Yeah.
Even if you don't want to tell me, at least you're gonna feel, bro, I needed someone and she asked me. Sometimes people just need a sign of like a light at the end of the tunnel, you know? So be nice, be kind, inspire people. Don't be scared to do things. Take a risk. Like, I've been taking risks my whole life, and it's gotten me thus far, and I have no idea where I'm gonna go. I just know I have like a bright future ahead of me, but I have no idea where I'm gonna go. And if things aren't, like, a year ago, I had no idea what I was gonna do. Like, I didn't know if I was gonna die because of the pills, or if I was gonna, you know, we never know. That's the thing. So just take risks. Just do anything that you want, whatever your heart tells you to do. As long as you're not stepping on people and being mean and being rude and stealing and stuff like that, just be yourself.
This is why I don't troll anymore.
Yeah.
I'm a good person. I'm trying to be better.
Sometimes it's harmless, but sometimes it can be very, you know.
Hey,
Yeah,
I'm trying to get out of that
but that's
space.
the thing. I feel like life is it's a beautiful thing to live, but it can also be. Eu nunca entendi essa cena, Joe. Isso é tipo o quê?
Não entendo.
Porque eu vi alguém uma vez disse, tipo, a amizade de pitas é tipo plástico, é tipo o quê? Reciclável ou o quê?
I also have no idea.
Mas já,
É sticker, essa eu já vi. É sticker.
A vida é plástico.
A vida é plástico.
Nem tudo que brilha é salada.
Yeah. Às vezes é uma testa grande.
Bro, essa cena. Eu como gosto daqui, Maia. Eu não gostei daquele. Não.
But she's really pretty.
Yeah,
she's really pretty.
Yo, she's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Mas yeah, guys, live life to the fullest. Take risks. Don't be scared. If you make a mistake, then what's gonna happen? You know, what's the worst? And this is an analogy that I have. Is if I'm here, right, and I want to go to point. If I'm in point A, right, and I want to go to point B, and I don't manage to get there, I'm not gonna go 5 steps back. I'm gonna stay in point A.
Because you've already moved to point A.
So the only thing is, I didn't manage to go there, mas eu posso conseguir ir para ali. Posso conseguir fazer uma cena diferente. Tipo, nothing's pushing me back. I'm just standing still. And that's not bad at all. So don't be scared to do things just because you're gonna fail. If you fail, you're still in the same spot. You didn't lose anything. It's not like eu tentei comprar isto e não consegui, então tenho menos, tipo, o saldo agora está negativo. No, it's still o mesmo saldo for you to try go buy something else. So go for it, guys. Life is crazy. You never know.
Wow.
You truly never know.
Damn.
Maning.
Anyways, de novo, muito obrigado.
Valeu.
Por vir aqui.
Yeah.
Esse é um daqueles episódios também
fun.
que nós nos planeamos há morning time, depois nunca se gravou and all that stuff.
No, but you've told me, tipo, I'm gonna have you, but like on a swimming level thing, não sei o que, now it's
Little did I know que swimming será like
just a portion of it.
I mean, it was
or
a big...
that it would be this deep.
Yeah.
Because maybe I just think, oh, sou atleta nacional, wow, ganho, não sei o que, maninho, nice. But now you're thinking, wow, it almost killed her. And you're like, fuck. Why did I bring it up?
Damn. Anyways, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you everybody that's been listening, watching.
Guys.
Keep keep doing it, man. Keep on
Watching.
being kind. Keep on being nice to people,
Yeah.
and I'll see you guys on the next one.
Tchau, pessoal.